Hello again, welcome to Network Diagrams 2, the second in a series looking at network diagrams. Zero method versus one method. Pick whatever you like, just make sure you get it right. That's pretty much what we're looking at today, nothing but network diagrams. Now you probably know that PDM is another term for activity on node, and ADM is another term for activity on arrow. ADM means arrow diagramming method, and PDM means precedence diagramming method. Part of the other confusion is really which method to use. So right now we're going to take a look at this problem. And this template was put together by Emily, my colleague. And we're going to look at a problem that is a little bit of a mess when you take a look at all the arrows. And someone might say, well, Phil, I've seen worse. Yeah, a lot of people have not seen network diagrams this bad. If you're able to solve this, then hey, you're on the right path, you're on the right trajectory. So we've got an activity with a 6, one with a 4, one with a 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to find out what exactly the critical path is. Now, here are the actual names of the activities involved. We have develop campaign, and we have after that domain, and so on and so forth. And this is really more like a web type project. And then we've got create copy, and then we've got wireframe, design site, we've got send email, and then end. So the question is, using this legend, and I'll just make it bigger so you can see it, the legend with ES, LS, EF, LF, activity name in the middle, duration at the top, total flow at the bottom in the middle. Question is, what are free flows, full flows, and all that stuff for these activities. Now we've got a slightly different legend here. As you can see, we've got that total float value right here in the middle. Okay, and then the late finish and the early finish a little bit smaller, but you kind of get the idea based on their position. So I'll let you take a crack at it. I'm just going to move it to the middle, and I'll say take out your pens, your paper, solve the problem, and let's see what you come up with. Going to give you a few minutes to do that. Why don't you hit the pause button and then come back and let's see. All right, I guess you're back. I guess you hit the pause button. So let's take a look. There are two ways to do this. You can use the 0 or you can use the 1, okay? In this example, we're going to use the 0 method. Okay, so let's hone in here on develop campaigns because that is the starting activity. I hope you found that out. It is a starting activity. Do not start with domain because domain is dependent on develop campaigns. Develop campaigns is the only one that does not have a predecessor. Okay, so we're going to start with develop campaigns using the 0 method. Put a 0 in there, and then we add the duration to get 3. I talked about this in the previous video, so I hope you followed along and you're able to solve this. Let's move to the next activities. We can move to create copy, but do note that create copy is also dependent on domain etc. So we cannot go to create copy just yet. We have to go to domain etc. So we're going to take the 3 and the 3 in the early finish of develop campaigns is going to become the early start of domain etc. And then we're going to add the duration. These are the durations. We're going to add the duration of 4 to give 7. And now we have two things we could do. We could either take 3, the early finish of developed campaigns, or 7, the early finish of domain etc. to go in this box. Which one are you going to take? We will take the 7. It's the highest number, and you cannot do create copy without both develop campaigns and domain etc being complete. Okay, so that's the logic. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to add 5 plus 7 to give 12, which is the early finish of create copy. Now, what do we do next? We could go to send email because there's only one arrow going into that. So we could put a 12 here and add the 7 to give a 19. And we could do wireframe, but look at wireframe. We've got create copy leading to wireframe and domain etc leading to wireframe. So which number did you take? Did you take the 12 or did you take the 7? If you took the 12, you're right. 12 plus 6, 18. And now we can actually go to design site. We've got two choices for this. We've got the 18 or the 12. Remember the rule, always take the highest number when you've got the early finish. You've got two early finishes and you need to take the highest number, which is 18, and then add the 8 to give 26. And then we move to the last one here, the end of the entire thing. We've got a choice of taking a 19 or taking a 26. We're going to take the highest number again and put that in there. And we're going to add 9 to get 35. So the answer is 35 as far as the duration. How long is the critical path? It's 35. Okay, now remember the rules. We take the 35, we drop that down there, we subtract the 9 and get 26. We can take that 26 and put that into the send email task. We subtract 26 minus 7, we get 19. We can also take that 26 and move it into design site because there's only one arrow going back in there. 26 minus 8 gives 18. I hope this makes sense. If you haven't watched that first video, you might want to. Otherwise, you might be lost here. So now we've got two choices going back. We've got a 19 and we've got an 18. Which one will you choose? Remember the rule. You've got a point of divergence. You always want to choose the lowest late start. And in this case, it's 18. So 18 goes here. Subtract 18. Uh-oh, hang on a second. It even deceived me. We shouldn't actually take that 18. You know what we should do? Because we don't just have two arrows. We actually have three arrows leading back in. That almost tricked me. And that's why you need to be careful. If you've got several arrows leading in, back into an activity, you need to consider all those. So we're not quite ready to do create copy. We actually want to do wireframe first. So wireframe, we've got one arrow leading back into wireframe, and that's 18. We're going to take the late start of 18, put that there, do the subtraction, get 12, and now we can see we've got a 19, an 18, and a 12. Did that trip you up? If it did, you almost fell into the same trap that I did. Oh, you did fall into the trap. So we're going to take the 12, and the 12 goes in here. We subtract 12 minus 5, we get 7. You see how slimy these things are? I wrote the question, and it almost tricked me. Okay, so right now, going back into domain etc, we've got two arrows going back into domain etc. We want to take the smallest number. We've got 12 and 7, so we want to take 7. Then 7 minus 4 gives us 3. And now we've got one more task. That should actually not be a minus. Oh, it's showing something. It shouldn't be showing anything right now. Okay, at least not yet. Okay, because that's a total flow, right? So we've got a 7 and a 12. Oh, hang on. We've got a 7 and a 3, I beg your pardon. So 3, late start of 3, late start of 7. Which one will you choose for developed campaigns? We're going to choose the lowest number, which is a 3. Put that here. Subtract 3 minus 3. We have a 0. And that's the end of that problem. And going on to the actual answer, which we have here, you can see that it's pretty much the same as what we actually did. The only difference in this view is I've added the total floats for each of the tasks. Total float is, remember, late finish minus early finish, or late start minus early start. So 3 minus 3 is 0, 12 minus 12, 0, 18 minus 18, 0, 7 minus 7, 0, 26 minus 26, 0. This is the only one that gives us a little bit of leeway. That is send email. Send email is the only one that has got a total float of 7. And that's the only one we can delay without messing up the entire thing. So this is a rather unique network diagram. The critical path is develop campaigns, domain etc, create copy, down to wireframe, then design site and end. Okay, so I hope that gave you some good exercise. You can see how slimy these things could be. Those points of divergence, look out for them. You might actually want to look at your network diagram and look out for those. Okay, I'm going to show you one more example here. We've got another example, and I should actually have deleted the answers, but you can see another example here of how you might just have a start box without any durations, and you've got these 3 tasks. They pretty much all start at the same time, but I would like you to, why not try this on your own? 10, 4, 1, 2, 15, 1, 2, and 10. Those are the durations. And try and do that. Let me actually take these out so that you can try doing these without the answers and see what you come up with. It's quite good practice. I'm going to delete these, and then you can rewind the video and you can actually look at the answers, like that. So anyway, delete those. Why don't you have fun with this and see if you get the same answer that I showed you just before I deleted all this. Let me put all the information back in. So, hang on. So yeah, take a look at it and see if you got these answers. And if you're using the one method, well, see if you got these answers. All right, so I hope that helps. The whole idea is you've got this activity list, and you arrange the activities into this, and at the end of the day, you come up with a critical path. In this case, the critical path is 26. So I hope that helps. I hope that further explains these network diagrams that people love to study, or not. Remember, if you've got any questions or you want to take a PMP exam course, visit www.projectmanagementdoctor.com. Take care and all the best on your test.